I'm just gonna wait like 5 seconds so we have a good time mark. Okay, hello and welcome back to Fable Fortune. Today we're gonna have a look at Budget Merchant. And honestly, this is not a really good Budget Merchant deck. I don't recommend you wait too long before you try this out. Maybe this is the first one you should do. Or not at all. But you kind of want to level it up, right? So maybe you have to do some games leveling it up. This is the best I can come up with right now. It's alright. But it's not as good as the other classes. It just doesn't have any good early game tempo plays. The best we can do with early game tempo plays is to get a coin early for your hero power, or preferably the debt collector here, and then try and get out a 5 or a 6 cost early and get a tempo play like that. We don't have any efficient removal in the early game. In the later game, Castaway here is okay, that's pretty good. And our AoE is more for cleaning stuff up. It's only, let's see if we can find it here. Alright, this there it is, broadside. So deal 1 damage or deal 2 damage. So it's more of a cleanup card than a border clear in itself. Other than that, we'll play try and curve out, but the curve is a little bit higher, as we can see here. More 5 drop than usual and more 6 drop than usual. And then we just try to play the solid minions as well as we can. Broadside is good for defense and for attack. It's a good utility card. You have the Debt Collector, which is really good. It's just an improvement over the Stinger, which is good in its own right. Hired Assassins, Mage Hunters, really it's 2 super strong 4-cost card. That's basics, we like that. Some card draw that will help us reduce these high cost minions. We put in a little bit more than usually, so they won't be as expensive. Warrior Hub is a solid minion of 4 as well. Wildstone Sheriff is an addition here we usually don't play, but sort of the third best 5 costs we can get in a budget deck. So we want 5 costs so we can play them on turn 2 if we have to hero power, or if we can ideally get it off with the Debt Collector. Castaway, as we said. Caravan Leader, another solid 5 cost. We've been playing a lot of decks. Same with Crucible. We have Barman as well, solid 6. Keel Hauler is like Debt Collector. It's just an improvement over an already good neutral minion, which is War Dog. And we play both as well here. Okay, let's head into a game and see if we can see how the deck works a little bit better. But be aware, this is as good as it gets for Merchant, but Merchant is not a good budget class. Be aware of that. It's not the best class to climb it early on, but if you like this class, this is what you get, a good starting point at least. Ideally you want a little bit of a bigger collection before you go play a lot of Merchant. But you should try out all the classes and get into level 5 at least to get all the class cards unlocked. And this deck will help you do that a little bit better than you would otherwise. And as you open better cards and more packs, you can improve on this deck pretty quickly. And it's, especially if you first, it's kind of okay to hero power on turn 1 if you have a 5 cost, because then you can play that 5 cost on turn 2. And that can be really hard to deal with for most classes. And that's how you get the advantage. This deck kind of needs to play from ahead, because you don't have any good early game tempo plays if you go second. Because if you do the same thing when you go second, they will have 2 minions on board to deal with that 5 cost, and then you're probably in a little bit of more trouble. Then it can snowball out of control. But on the other hand, if you go first, you can snowball the game out of control as well. And then we just hero power on turn 1 just to get that done. You want to prioritize playing an actual unit in Debt Collector or Stinger. That's what we want. Ideally we want the Debt Collector. They want the Debt Collector to hit something and give us a coin, and then play the 5 cost. But going first, it's okay to keep 1 5 cost, not more than 1. even if you don't have a turn 1 play. In that case, you mulligan everything else and keep the 5 cost, because then you will always have that play on turn 2, which can be good if, and only if you go first. If you go second, you have to mulligan for that 1 drop, or turn 1 play, the 3 cost unit. That's non-negotiable. You can't keep a 5 and hero power. Well, it's at least a lot more risky. So if you on your head running, you have the debt collector, then you keep the 5 cost. So if you go second, you have the pointer stick in this deck. So for the 4/6 that the debt collector will turn into is kind of likely to survive and kind of likely to give you a coin. So that's a really good combo going second. Okay, let's see what we're gonna go for here. I'm playing a shapeshifter. That's a 5, that's not a 5, that's a 6, and there's the debt collector and the trade secret, and we're going second. So we don't want to go guard or sheep minions. I think we go guard with this hand. This deck doesn't cost really great right now, but that's okay. It works alright. So now we keep the 5 since we have this already. So this is going to be a 4/6 on turn 1. That's likely to give us a coin, and then we can coin out the 5 cost next on turn 2. Now we have a lot of options here, but it's gonna take a lot for me not to play the debt collector with the pointer stick. 2/1 is definitely not among those things that will stop me from doing that. Arguably, actually it might be. I might hold on to the pointer stick here. Because no, I'm not gonna have it. I'm gonna point to stick it, I think. No, maybe not. So the card reads, if this deals damage and survives, it gives you a coin. So if I point to stick here, it can ambush this and then hit here. Then it dies without dealing damage and surviving. Another one of these run both and we get a coin. So there's really no reason to use the pointer stick, because either it dies, the reason is this survives. But do I really want to use this to kill a 2/1? Especially when I have the IR assistant? No, I do not. I'm actually going to keep the pointer stick here, since there's no point in playing it. Because all it's going to do at best is kill this one. It will actually not generate a coin, extra coin, no matter what I do. Now we can run both in here, but then I get my coin and here, so that's okay. This play is acceptable. I would have gotten 1 extra coin for this. That's not worth the trade either. Now we have some options here. I could coin out of 5, but we don't have another 5, so that's not super alluring. We have some 6 mana 7/7 can play if we keep the coin. I kind of like that. So we're not gonna coin this turn. The question is, do I hide assassin? Or do I just play the stinger? I think I'll play the stinger and guard it up. Helps us with the quest as well. And he plays the 2/1 rushes, so maybe he plays the 3/1 rushes as well. In that case, the hide assassin is gonna be really good. But this helps us with the quest. It saves this damage my attacks to matter a lot. And now we set up to coin at a 7/7 here. Okay, so now we can use the pointer stick for sure to kill the maiden. That's play 1 no matter what. Because this needs to die, otherwise it can get out of hell. The question is, do we want to kill this one with the hide assassin now? Or do we want to coin out a 6 cost? We keep holding on to the coin here, but it might be right to hold on to it again. Here's a card that summons 3 wolves and they buff each other. The other wolves that's +3, so that would be a 4/1 if I let it live, and he passed that card. But then I have the broadside and I would have a 7/7, so That's okay if that happens. I'm actually gonna play the 7/7, let us live one turn. There we go. And it's very rare you wanna use the 11/11. You wanna use the 7/7. That's much better value. Okay, and turn. Now we'll let us 1/1 live. Even if he has that card, we have the broadside to deal with a lot of 1 health minions. And then we can... yeah. That's it. We have a lot... okay. Could broadside and use the hide assassin next turn to kill the 3/2. But I kinda need him to play more 1/1s. If he doesn't play any more 1/1s, it's probably not worth it. Oh, he's gonna play a 3/3. I could broadside for 2. Nah. Okay, he's not gonna play the 3/3. That's weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna sacrifice the 4/3 here. Almost guaranteed. Yeah, I'm just gonna sacrifice it. I guess just play the barman. Actually, I'm gonna play this. Start buffing it up and guarding so we can get that quest completed. And then we can hit him in this phase of 7. Now we have a couple of big minions here that's not that easy for him to deal with. And try and keep this combo, barman blockade combo if you can. But it's not strictly necessary. Maybe I just play the barman and see what survives, and then maybe blockade into it. Let's see what he plays first. We have a nice board going here.
Sometimes things have to get worse before they get better, eh?
Okay. Good mage hunter here. Kind of 1 mana off, dealing 2 to everything. This board stays a little bit awkward. I think I'm gonna play the barman and like guard up. He's AoE dealers 4 to everything, so that's putting us in a little bit of an awkward spot. I think I'm always only putting. Okay, we have to. I don't think I can play around the AoE here. Well, not killing his minions would do the job, I guess. Let's just make or break here a little bit. If I can blockade for 3 next turn, I'll probably win the game. If he AoEs, we're back to square one here. I only have sort of reactionary cards here. That's good. Is that it? I think I poke him with the hired assassin. Broadside for 3. Yeah, I had that game 1. So what I would have done is poked 4/3 with the hired assassin. Blockade for 1, give everything +1/+1. And everything would be AoE safe except for the sheriff. And then the 2/2 would get into the 4/2 and I would hit him for 8. Everything would also get guard, so this would hit him for 6, that's 14. Yeah, he was was that even lethal? I don't know, I can't see what he had, but yeah. So that game was definitely won by us. So as you can see, the deck can actually work pretty well, but beware, it's absolutely not the strongest budget deck out there. Well, actually the worst, since it doesn't have any good way to a good early game tempo plays if you fall behind. Playing from ahead, this deck is really good. But it suffers a lot from playing from behind, so be wary of that. Okay, thanks for watching and see you next time.